Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the topic of lesson today, but we'll focus only on long division and synthetic division. Alright, so we are talking about dividing polynomials, and here's the question. Find the quotient and the remainder when 2x squared plus 5x minus 4 is divided by x plus 2. This is a linear expression and this is a quadratic one. Both of them are polynomials. This is a first degree polynomial and this is a second degree polynomial. Alright, let's solve this by long division. Okay, the idea is the same as the normal long division with normal numbers. So we put the dividend inside and we put the divisor outside, and then we divide by first focusing on the leading terms of its expression. And by the leading term, I mean the x with the highest power. So we go 2x squared divided by x. I've written it down here also. 2x squared by x is 2x. And we write the 2x up there. 2x times x plus 2, just like what we do in normal divisions. 2x times x plus 2 will expand to 2x squared plus 4x. And so we write it down here, 2x squared plus 4x, and we subtract. So 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0, and 5x minus 4x is x. And then we bring down negative 4, and we divide again. Again, the leading terms only, x dividing by x. So x by x is 1, positive 1. And so positive 1 times x plus 2 is x plus 2. And we subtract again. So x minus x is 0, and negative 4 minus 2 is a negative 6. So the number without x is our remainder, and 2x plus 1 is our quotient. Okay, now let's solve the same one. Let's divide the same problem using the synthetic division method. Now, for the synthetic division, we will only work with the coefficients and the numbers, not with the letters. So, we line the coefficient of the dividend up here. You see the coefficient of x squared is 2, for x is 5, and the constant is negative 4. So we line them up 2, 5, negative 4. Take note, when we line up the coefficients of the dividend, they must come in consecutive order of their powers. What I mean is, this x is x squared, this one is 1, and then this one has x to the power of 0. So they go in line 2, 1, 0. If a number is missing, we have to include 0 times x to the missing power there. Okay, we look at that in the next example. So, we line up the coefficient of the dividend, 2, 5, negative 4. And then we put this kind of an inverted division sign. And then we need a number outside here. And this number outside comes from the divisor, x plus 2. And you find that number by finding the value of x plus 2 when it is equals to 0. So you equate x plus 2 equals 0, and then minus 2 on both sides, x is equal to negative 2. This negative 2 goes here, and then the rest is just adding down, multiplying across, writing your answer here, adding down, multiplying across, and writing your answer here. So let's go. 2 plus the 0 here gives 2. Or you can just pull the 0 down, pull the 2 down. Just bring this 2 down since there's nothing here. You can also say 2 plus 0 because there's also nothing there. Write the number down here. And then you go 2 times negative 2. The answer that you get from this multiplication is brought down this place. So 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And then we add downwards. 5 plus negative 4 is 1. And then you get this one and multiply by negative 2. And the answer is written here. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. And negative 4 plus negative 2 negative is 6. So as you can see, the answers are like 3 numbers lining up in order. So the last one is the remainder, and the remaining numbers will give you the quotient. Since we have 2 numbers there, this last one is the constant. This one is the constant, meaning it doesn't have a letter attached to it. And this one will be the coefficient of x. Coefficient of x. Alright. So our question is 2x plus 1. Now take note, since our dividend here is 2x squared, meaning it's quadratic and the highest power is 2, our quotient must be 2x to the power of 1, meaning it must be linear. Take note again. If the polynomial is quadratic, then the quotient must be linear. 2x to the power of 1. And if you compare this with the long division method, you will see that the quotient is 2x plus 1 and the remainder is minus 6. Alright, let's look at the second example where the polynomial is a quartic one where the highest power is 4. So we have 4x to the power 4 minus 3x squared plus x plus 2 dividing by 2x plus 3. And the question is still the same. Find the quotient and the remainder. Now take note. Here we have 4x, x to the power 4, x to the power 2, x to the power 1, and this one is x to the power 0. There's no x to the power 3. So what we do when we are dividing is we have to include x to the power 3. And so we have 4x to the 4th power plus 0x cubed minus 3x squared plus x plus 2. That's our dividend. And 2x plus 3 is our divisor. So as we are dividing, we look at the leading term of the dividend and the leading term of the divisor. So we go 4x to the power 4 divide x, 2x. I like doing it vertically so you can easily cancel. 4x to the power 4 dividing by 2x. This 2 into 2 goes 1 and 2 into 4 goes 2. This x cancels with 1x up there, leaving x to the power 3. So our division answer here is 2x cubed. Now we write the 2x cubed up there. And just like normal long division, we go 2x cubed times 2x plus 3. I did it here. 2x cubed times 2x plus 3, expanding. 2 times 2 is 4 x cubed times x is x to the power 4. 2x cubed times 3 is 6x cubed, positive 6x cubed. So we write this 4x to the power 4 plus 6x cubed down here. 4x to the power 4 plus 6x cubed, and of course we minus 4x to the power 4 minus 4x to the power 4 is 0, and 0x to the power 3 minus 6x cubed is negative 6x cubed, and we bring down negative 3x squared. Then we divide the leading term here with the leading term there. So negative 6x cubed divided by 2x. Negative 6x cubed dividing by 2x. 2 into 2 goes 1, 2 into 6 goes 3. X cancels out here, 1x cancels out there, so we are left with negative 3x squared. Negative 3x squared, we write it up there as part of the quotient. Negative 3x squared, and again we multiply this by that. So negative 3x squared times the divisor 2x plus 3. Expanding, that's a negative 6x to the power 3. Negative 6x to the power 3. And expanding this by that, that's the negative 3 times 3. That's negative 9 times x squared. Negative 9x squared. And we write this underneath, lining the like terms under each other. So we go negative 6x cubed under the x cubed here, minus 9x. Sorry, this should be x cubed. Minus 9x squared under the x squared. And we subtract. Negative 6x cubed minus negative 6x cubed is like adding the opposite of the second term. So negative 6 plus positive 6 is 0. Negative minus negative is negative plus positive. So negative plus positive is you minus the 2 and bring down the sign of the larger one. So 9 minus 3 is 6, and 9 is bigger, so it's positive 6x squared. And we bring down x, and we divide this by that again. Again, the leading terms only. 6x squared by 2x. 6 divided by 2 is positive 3 plus 3. And x squared dividing by x is just x. So 3x times 2x plus 3. 3x times 2x plus 3. That's 3 times 2 is 6. X times x is x squared. 3x times 3 is positive 9x. So we have 6x squared plus 9x. 6x squared plus 9x, we write it here under like terms. And we minus 6x squared minus 6x squared is 0. And x minus 9x is negative 8x. And we finally bring down 2. Again, we divide leading term by leading term. Negative 8 divided by 2 is a negative 4. And x divided by x is 1. So it's just negative 4. And negative 4 times 2x plus 3. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. X, okay, let's write it out here so it's clear. Negative 4 times 2x plus 3. Negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. So we write it down here. And again we subtract. Negative subtract negative is negative plus positive, and 8, negative 8 plus positive 8 is 0. And 2 minus negative 12 is like 2 plus positive 12, which is 14. And so 14 is our remainder. And our question is 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 3x minus 4. Take note, Since our dividend is of the degree 4, meaning the highest power is 4, our quotient must be of the degree 3, meaning its highest power must be 3. Because when you expand this times that, this is the quotient, and they can multiply and add it to the remainder. It will give you back the original. So when you multiply an x cubed with an x, you can get an x to the power 4. Okay, let's do the second example using the synthetic division method. Okay, like I said, when we line up the coefficients, they must go in order of the power consecutively, not missing any number in the sequence. So this has to include x to the power of 3. So we can rewrite it and say 4x to the power 4 minus, no, minus plus 0x cubed 4 3 2 minus 3x squared plus x plus 2. That's the same. Nothing has changed because 0 times anything is just 0, so it will resolve back to the original. Okay, now let's pick our coefficients and line them up. Coefficient of x to the power 4 is 4. For x to the power 3 is 0. For x squared is negative 3. For x to the power 1 is 1. Coefficient, number in front of x. And the constant is 2. And we put this synthetic division sign, and we need to put the number out there, which will come from our divisor. Let's find it. So we are going to equate 2x plus 3 to 0 and then find x. So we minus 3 both sides. That's 2x equals negative 3. And then divide by 2 both sides. So x is negative 3 on 2. Negative 3 on 2, or 1.5. So let's write it up here. Okay, so first we add down. There's nothing here, so that's like 4 plus 0, which is 4. And then we go 4 times 3 on 2. 4 times 3 on 2, which is 4 times 1.5. I like it in fraction form, so I can easily cancel. Is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. And it's a negative 1, so I write it here, negative 6. And then add down 0 plus negative 6 is negative 6. And then negative 6 times 3 on 2, or negative 6 times negative 1.5. It will be a positive. Let's see, negative 6 times negative 3 on 2. These 2 cancels with that one, with that 6, which gives 3. And negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. So we write it down here. Then we add down. And negative 3 plus 9 is a positive 6. And then 6 times negative 3 on 2 will be a negative 9. Positive times negative is negative. So it's a negative 9. And we add down 1 plus negative 8, negative 9, sorry, is negative 8. Okay, negative 8 times negative 3 on 2 Negative 8 times negative 3 on 2. 2 cancels with 8, leaving 4. And negative 4 times negative 3 is a positive 12. And we write it up here, positive 12. So 2 plus 12 is a positive 14. And so 14 is our remainder. And for the quotient, we will use all these remaining numbers. The last one is the constant, and all these are coefficient of x. And we are going to line the coefficients of x starting from, okay, if this is the constant, then this will be x to the power 1, x to the power 2, x to the power 3. So here we are. We have 4 is the coefficient of x to the power 3, minus 6 times x to the power 2, plus 6, x minus 8, the constant. Now, if you look at the numbers 4, 6, and 8, they have a common factor of 2, so they can be still simplified. So we divide every term by 2, and so 4x cubed divided by 2 is 2x cubed, minus 6 x squared divided 2 is minus 3x squared, and positive 6x divided by 2 is plus 3x, and negative 8 by 2 is negative 4. So this is our simplified quotient, 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 3x minus 4. And take note, since our polynomial dividend is a quartic one with the highest power of 4, our quotient must have a power of 3. So when we expand by writing it as a factor, the quotient times the divisor, you see x cubed times an x will give us an x to the power of 4. Okay, so let's check with the long division method. For the long division method, our remainder is 14. Synthetic method, our remainder is also 14. Our quotient is 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 3x minus 4. The long division, 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 3x minus 4. Okay, so we are good, and that's it for this video. Stick around if you want to see remainder and factor theorem and more on polynomial divisions. Bye for now.